Bradford City are back in League 2 action this weekend as they travel away to Fleetwood Town for their 15th league match of the League 2 campaign. A lot of leagues in that opening statement. If you do want to enjoy today's video though, make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And today you're going to find out how both teams have got on so far this season, what my starting 11 would be if I was Graham Alexander. But my team at Bradford City, we currently occupy that final playoff spot in 7th position. After 14 matches, we've got 6 wins, 4 draws and 4 defeats, scoring 20 goals and conceding 15, which leaves us on a positive 5 goal difference and 22 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a loss, a draw, a win and a win. Then last couple of matches then been a 3-1 win at home to Aldershot Town in the FA Cup first round. By the sounds of it, wasn't a great first half, but second half I managed to turn it around. Obviously, I was unable to watch this game with it being an FA Cup match, so I can't really speak about it for too long, but obviously nice to progress through into the second round where we will travel away to Morecambe. Is there a worse possible draw you can get in a cup competition than playing a team in the exact same league as you? Even worse when it's away from home. Just before that though, we had a 2-1 defeat at home to Doncaster Rovers. It was a very even game, but Doncaster had a 20-25 minute spell in the second half where they were completely on top and probably did just about deserve it to win the football match. That was a big promotion 6-pointer, and unfortunately we did pick up our first home defeat in 7 months. We also had a 1-1 draw away at Cheltenham Town. A really frustrating game in all honesty. They were probably the better side in the first half, although I would say it was pretty even. Second half though, it was total domination from Bradford City, but we were just unable to get that goal in the end. Hit the crossbar, their keeper made a few really good saves. I know they had the odd chance as well, so a point probably was a fair result. We also had a 2-1 win at home to Gillingham FC. They took the lead after around 11 minutes or so, and normally when we go 1-0 down at home at Valley Parade, we end up going on to lose the match, but against a fellow promotion rival, we did manage to turn it around through 2 goals from central defenders Jack Shepherd, scoring an absolute worldy in that one. Obviously he's going to be suspended for this clash against the Cods as he picks up his 5th league yellow card of the season against Doncaster. And then just before that one, we had a 2-0 win away at Tranmere Rovers. A very even game in honesty. The only real difference in the match was they were very toothless, and we have the best striker in the division in Andy Cook. 2 brilliant pieces of individual brilliance, to toe block from outside the penalty area and a brilliant finish over the goalkeeper to wrap up all 3 points for Bradford City, and that was a very good win for us. Compared though to Fleetwood Town, they currently sit 15th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 13 matches, they've got 4 wins, 6 draws and 3 defeats, scoring 19 goals and conceding 15, which leaves them on a positive 4 goal difference and 18 points. Their last couple of matches then have been a draw, a loss and a draw, so just 3 points picked up out of their last possible 15 available. Their last couple of matches then have been a 2-0 defeat away at Reading in the FA Cup first round. I don't think the Cods have really disgraced themselves with the result here. Reading obviously a division above, pretty well established championship side. I know they've had off the field issues over the last couple of seasons, but to go away from home against a League 1 side and have 12 shots, 45% of the ball for a team who doesn't really dominate possession, I do think is pretty decent going for the Cods. They also had a 2-2 draw at home to Salford City, conceding in the 98th minute in that one. They've really struggled at home so far this season. Remember when they were live on the telly against Morecambe, 2-0 up cruising, ended up going on to draw that game to all, and statistically had a lot more shots, but lack of really firepower going forward, a lack of conversion in front of goal, and that obviously did come back to bite them in the end. They also had a 0-0 draw away at Newport County, 25 shots in this game. Neither side though were able to find a breakthrough. Very even in terms of the possession, and a draw away at Newport County considering how good they have been there at home so far this season at the Exiles. I don't think that is a particularly bad point. They also had a 1-0 defeat at home to Crewe at Alexandra. Again, Fleetwood had 15 shots in this game, only the 5 on target, nearly 60% of possession, but Crewe did win it with a very late penalty in there from Ryan Cooney. Who would have thought the right back would have been on penalties, but I'm sure that obviously did spark a lot of frustration really for the Cods fans. And then just before that one, they had a 3-1 defeat away at Port Vale, but you look at where Port Vale are in the table, I don't think it's really the end of the world going away to Port Vale and losing 3-1, although the Valiants did only have 3 shots on target in the game and scored all 3 of their goals, so it's going to make for a pretty interesting game. But before we do go any further with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 60 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated, and don't forget to get your thoughts in it down in the comment section down below. What is your score score prediction for this match? What would your starting 11 be as well? In terms of my formation for this game, I'm going to stick with the same system that we played at the weekend against Aldershot, the 3-4-1-2. For the large part under Graham Alexander, we have played a 3-5-2 with a holding midfielder and then 2 number 8s, but now I want to play with 2 number 8s or 6s and then 1 number 10, so slightly more attacking just to get one of the central midfielders in there in a much better position. In goal, I've gone with Sam Walker. I don't think he really had much to do against Aldershot, in all honesty. Looking from the highlights and all that sort of stuff, it didn't look like he had loads of stuff to do, maybe 1 or 2 saves that you think, well, that's a pretty decent stop throughout the game, but I think he has been pretty poor in a few matches so far this season. Should definitely save Doncaster's first goal as well, which is quite frustrating, so hopefully he can have a better game in this one, but when there's no real competition for him, I guess he can really play how he wants to do. In terms of my back 3 then, obviously with Jack Shepherd being unavailable is a little bit unorthodox, but at right centre back I have gone with Brad Halliday. I think he's proven he can do a pretty solid job there. Played there against Aldershot, did that job away at Tranmere as well, and I think it looks pretty comfortable there, defensively much better than he has been going forward, especially this season. So I think as a right centre back, considering we've got 7 centre halves at the football club and we're still having to shoe on right backs in there, it goes to show the injury crisis we've got at this moment in time. So Halliday would start for me in that position. In the middle, I've gone with Neil Byrne. By all accounts, he had a pretty solid game against Aldershot, nothing really to stand out. You could maybe make the argument he's a little bit too deep for their goal, and obviously does get cut away from and span a little bit too easily, but then it is a great finish from the Aldershot player. Apart from that though, I think Neil Byrne has been pretty solid on the whole so far this season, in the recent matches anyway, so he would start for me in the middle. And at left centre back, I've gone with Czech Diabate. Now I'm not comfortable really with Diabate playing on the left side. You could maybe put Lewis Richards left centre back and put Brad Halliday over to left wing back and Diabate on the right of a back 3, but I think I'll go with this Diabate on the left. He was signed to play in the middle, then he played quite a lot on the right, and now I'm going to put him over on that left hand side, but don't be surprised if it is Richards left centre back, Halliday left wing back and Diabate on the right side. But I don't think Paul Huntington and Neil Byrne can both play in a back 3. I think one of them would be far too slow to play as a wide side centre back. In terms of my midfield 4 then, at right wing back I've gone with Jay Ben. He had a pretty solid game against Aldershot, technically does get the assist for our second goal, I think it was, the own goal. He puts the cross into the box, it takes a couple of deflections and ends up in the back of the net, but going forward, absolutely brilliant. His work rate and energy down that right hand side is absolutely amazing, and I think if he continues up the kind of the amount of crosses he's putting in, the quality of crosses, the assists that he's getting, the chances he's creating, I can only really see him going back to Lincoln in January and then playing him regularly in their first team. I know they've got some very good players at Lincoln City, but Jay Ben has been a big standout for us in a lot of the matches that he has played. In terms of my 2 central midfielders, firstly I've gone with the captain at Richie Smallwood. I wouldn't really say many people have said much about him for his performance against Aldershot, but I think when Smallwood has a good game, then traditionally we do quite well in there. There's some maybe people making the argument, do we need another holding midfielder in there alongside Smallwood? Potentially not. I just think against Doncaster they worked it very well and he got exposed a little bit, but Doncaster kind of showed if you want to beat Bradford City, you play 2 number 10s, and Smallwood obviously can't mark 2 players at once, so I'd put him in there alongside Corey Evans just for a little bit more comfort in there, a bit more control. And from what I've seen of Corey Evans, he looks really good. He was from the highlights that I saw, he looked like he had an amazing game against Aldershot, creating chances, breaking up the play. His vision and passing ability is absolutely excellent. And out of Evans and Huntington, if either player is to get a longer term contract, I do think it will be Corey Evans, because obviously Huntington has played about 15 minutes of football for Bradford City. Corey Evans has had quite a lot of appearances, so I would start them 2 as central midfielders, and at left wing back I would go with Lewis Richards. Obviously Tyreek Wright is going to be missing for the next couple of months with a quad injury, which, as much as I've not been the biggest fan of Tyreek Wright so far this season, it's still never nice for a player to be injured, but a big opportunity now for Lewis Richards over the next couple of months to really nail down his place in the starting 11. He actually did the pre-match press conference for the players' point of view for this game, and goodness me, it was a very, very tough watch. It was very much 1-2 word answers, not because I think he was being rude, he just genuinely doesn't really know how to answer questions with the media, and I don't think he's ever really going to learn to do that. But in terms of his footballing ability, it looks pretty solid, contributing to goals, assists, all that sort of stuff, so I'd have him starting at left wing back. As my number 10 then, there's a couple of options you could go. You could have Kavanagh start as the number 10 again, Jamie Walker, Bobby Poynton. I don't think Clark Adol will be back fit for this one, he might make the bench potentially, but I have gone with it, Jamie Walker as that attacking midfielder. Hasn't really done much in a Bradford City shirt in, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 games, something like that now, so hopefully he can come up with a big performance in this one. I think sometimes he can play quite well as that lone at number 10, but I think we've actually seen the best performances from Jamie Walker when he's played alongside Bobby Poynton, and obviously I haven't got Poynton in my starting 11, but I think Walker, he's just got that pedigree and he's got that knack of hopefully just getting a goal. He's kind of, no one's really grabbed that shirt by the scruff of the neck, so I'd start Walker in there, but if you want to go Poynton, I don't really have many complaints. I just think Poynton is a little bit better as an impact substitute. As my two strikers then, at first I've gone with Andy Cook. Obviously he started on the bench against Aldershot, only came on for around 15-20 minutes or so, and it sounded like he'd picked up a little bit of a knock in that one and was hobbling a little bit, Jamie Rayner mentioned on the radio, but Thomas Gard had tweeted some pictures from training today and Andy Cook was out training with the team, so nothing really to worry about there. And obviously he's the top goal scorer in the division with 8. I think it's 11 in all competitions for him as well so far this season, and we're only in November, so Andy Cook definitely would start for me in this game alongside Callum Kavanagh. Great for him to finally have his first competitive goal of the season. I just hope now that he can continue to do so in the league and all that sort of stuff, because he has missed quite a lot of chances for us. I wouldn't start Oliver alongside Andy Cook. I know he got his second competitive goal of the season at the weekend, but I just don't think he offered enough. You know, he's largely at fault for the goal we conceded, and obviously the goal that Oliver scores, I think me, you, and probably my granddad would definitely score that one. On the bench then for me, I've gone with Colin Doyle, Paul Huntington, George Goodman, again down to lack of defenders. Obviously I don't think he's technically a pro, but with him being a young player, he doesn't need to be registered and all that sort of stuff. Also on the bench will be Bobby Poynton, Tyler Smith, Ollie Sanderson and Verden Oliver. The players currently unavailable, it's a long list to go through. Callum Johnson, Aidan Baldwin, Kieran Kelly, Jack Shepherd will be missing for just the one game with that 5 yellow card suspension. Tyrick Wright out for a couple of months with that quad injury. Alex Patterson still not back. We were told 3-4 weeks. That was 5-6 weeks ago. He's still not available, unfortunately. Anthony Sarsvik also out. Clark Adore might potentially make the bench for this game, and obviously Joe Adams is going to be missing for the season. So the players who miss out then through selection will be Zach Hadey, Gabriel Wadsworth, and I'm pretty sure Harry Ibbotson is now back from his loan spell with Kidderminster, but I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction and starting 11 and all that sort of stuff. Make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, and fingers crossed the Bantams can get back to winning ways.